DHBox is a powerful and easy to use plugin for creating picture-in-picture and split screen effects in Final Cut Pro. So I've got two clips layered on tracks V1 and V2, and the goal here is to have the V2 clip start as full screen and then scale down to a box and show the V1 clip in a similar box underneath. Let's work on the top clip first, so I'll select it and go to the Effects menu, Video Filters, Digital Heaven, and apply DHBox to the clip. I'll open the clip into the viewer and switch to the Filters tab. So most of the parameters in DHBox are grouped into Source Area and Target Area. I'll come to the Source Area later on, but you can think of the Target Area as being pretty much the same as the basic motion parameters in Final Cut Pro. So I'm going to start by scaling the clip down to 50%, like that. And then I'll move it to the left slightly by adjusting the X position slider to there. And also I'm going to crop the left and right side slightly to make it more of a square shape than the original 4:3 aspect ratio. Okay, so that's looking good. Now because we want the same shape on the V1 clip, I'm going to copy this by dragging it from the Filters tab and putting it onto the V1 clip. And now of course the V1 clip has disappeared because it's hiding directly behind the V2 clip. So let's open the V1 clip into the viewer and change the X position to +22 instead of -22. So now the clip's on the right hand side. And if I just play the sequence, you can see we've got two boxes of the same size and shape. So this is all great, but I haven't really done anything that isn't possible using Final Cut Pro's Motion tab. So if I just switch back to the V2 clip again into the viewer, let's take a look at the box amount slider. With the box amount at 100, DHBox uses the source area and target area parameters as set below. But if I move the slider down to 0, then the clip transitions to full screen. The great thing about the box amount controlling all these different settings from a single slider is it becomes very quick to animate with keyframes. So if I move to this frame here, and I'm going to set a keyframe with the box amount at 0, then move a bit further down to this frame, and I'll set the box amount to 100 as a second keyframe. And if we play the sequence, you can see that the clip zooms down from full screen to the size, position and cropping that we set with the target area parameters. Now at the moment this is a linear move that starts and ends very abruptly. So to make it look smoother, I'm going to right click on each of these keyframes and select Smooth from the shortcut menu. And if we take a look, that's looking a lot better. So what we've seen so far is part of what makes DHBox so easy to use, but here's where it gets really interesting. Let's imagine I want to zoom up the image inside the box on the left, but keep the size of the box exactly the same, so it still matches the box on the right. If I was just using the built-in tools inside Final Cut Pro, this would be the point where things can quickly get very complicated. But with DHBox, it's as simple as adjusting the source area controls. So by moving the zoom slider in the source area, I can increase the size of the image inside the box while keeping the box itself exactly the same. When you're adjusting the source area controls like this, one really handy feature in DHBox is that if you switch the view menu to source in place, then you'll see a white outline of the box, but you can also see which areas are not being shown. And this makes it much easier to adjust the different positions of the image within the box. So I can just reframe this shot like so. I'll just switch back to output and let's take a look. So the clip goes from full screen down to the new position that I've set with the source area controls, and the great thing is I haven't had to change a single keyframe. So that's DHBox from Digital Heaven.